You do see units down slightly, and when you look at new cars. But going to used cars, you've got actually sales up. So sales are up on used car. Average sales price on a used car is up. And I think the big story there is they are much better cars than they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So a dealer who's selling new cars probably sees a little dip in new sales, but it's offset by higher margin used car sales. And
Phil, we report on the new sales, obviously, because, that's what's relevant to the publicly traded companies and all that. But, used sales are benefiting from how strong the market's been the last couple of years. And at some point, there's only so many cars you can take out there, right?
Well, theoretically, we're seeing for used sales this year probably around 41 million, which is close to a record high. So there's still plenty of demand out there, Kelly. But the concern that we've heard expressed for some time has been the age of the vehicles that are out on the road. They have been at a record high, and they're going to start to come down a little bit. So at some point, people who have a newer used vehicle, maybe only 3, 4, 5 years old, they're going to hold on to that a little bit longer, especially because the quality of these vehicles has improved dramatically. So don't be surprised if at some point we start to see a slowdown in used sales as well.
Dave, I wonder, when we talk about the trade-off, so they are selling, the car makers might be selling fewer sedans, but they're selling more trucks and more SUVs. What are we talking about generally in terms of profit? So is one pickup equivalent to 2 or 3 cars, or is that overstating it?
I think slightly overstating it, but certainly the margins are better on that SUV and that pickup truck, generally speaking. You do have fleet sales, which sometimes will skew the numbers back down a bit. Fleet sales will tend to be a little bit lower margin. But in general, the pickup trucks and SUVs are going to have higher margin.
Are you seeing any trends amongst the automakers? Who's showing strength this year, and whose sales are most likely to slow?
And overall, I think there's no big winners or losers as far as the sales. I think the big change we'll see in the next year or two is new features, new systems, whether it's autonomous or it's generally that's going to drive the innovation in the auto space drives turnover and volume. It makes the used cars, by the way, less valuable. So right now what you see is a very good used car market. The cars that are being built are fantastic nowadays. They last longer. However, if in a year or two I can buy a level 4 autonomous vehicle, then that used car depreciates very quickly. So new technology, and we're right at the cusp of some new technology, will cause that depreciation to kick in a little bit faster than you might have seen in the past.
And Phil, again, going back to the automakers themselves, Ford's up 18% this year, GM 13%, Fiat Chrysler 5%, Toyota's negative, Tesla even more so. What accounts for that differentiation?
You mean the different performance? Well, I mean, look, Tesla is its own beast. And that's going to be trading for a variety of reasons separate from where the overall auto market is. And in terms of Ford and General Motors, Fiat Chrysler, there's the discussion out of Europe about a potential hookup, merger, tie-up, whatever term you want to use with Peugeot. And with Ford and GM, remember, these guys were really, really beaten down at the end of last year. So while they have been up, 12, 13% in the first quarter, they were bouncing off some pretty low levels. I think what people want to see is, do we see a sustained growth from here? We have yet to see that with any of the automakers over an extended period of time.
All right, we got to go. But, Dave, we got gasoline prices are up 50 cents so far this year. I guess that's not hurting SUV and truck sales.
It's news. No, they aren't hurting SUV and truck sales at the moment. I didn't realize they were up that much. But, no, I don't. That gets factored into our analysis for our predictions and our market research. So I assume our data guys did a great job in factoring that in. But at the moment, it certainly doesn't seem to be slowing truck and pickup sales.